Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacey and today is Sunday. So we are going to do our Sunday sketch session video. It's about an hour of just me sketching in one of my many sketchbooks that I'm working on. I think I have 8 sketchbooks going this year. And they've been going from previous years. They roll from year to year. But this year I'm trying to fill them as much as possible. And I'm making actual great headway. This is the Animal's Anatomy. I named it Animal Anatomy a couple of years ago. Practice animals in multiple mediums. So we can use whatever medium we want in here. And it is an Artist Loft sketchbook that I got several years ago. 75-pound paper. 8.5 by 11. Oh, there you are. I wondered where you got to. See, I knew there was a reason I needed this book. I need this card. I'll show you in a minute. I'm working on something. But this is the cover. If you're new to the channel and you've never seen this sketchbook, this is the cover. I did this all in Posca pen. I really love how it turned out. I really enjoy the cover of my book. I kind of destroyed a bit of it up here. I don't even know how I did that. Like the cover is mangled. At any rate, these are the animals that are on the front. I love the bunny first. And then just the different textures. The fish and the turtle next to each other. The bunny and the bird next to each other. I just like it. And that the fish goes over the spine I enjoy as well. Bloop. Alright, so moving on. I am feeling very, 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 oh, I still have to finish that page. Like I want to draw birds today. Oh, this guy. I was going to show you guys what I was working on. I'm going to make this, I want to do a frog in colored pencil. And these are Patreon only sketch sessions, but I really wanted to show you guys the frog dude. Isn't he turning out cool? My frog's chubbier and lighter, but I love him. So I want to do a big colored pencil piece. That's why this card is floating around so that I remember to do my big... It's not going to be this frog, but it is going to be a frog. So, found the card. Success. I am enjoying a cup of coffee, and because I really feel like it, I'm going to sketch birds today. This spread is going to be all birds. We have an hour to fill in as much of the page as possible. That's generally what I do with my daily sketch sessions. I block out an hour of time to just do what I feel like doing in one of my sketchbooks. Today is animals because animals make me happy and I really thoroughly enjoy drawing them. Coffee is the best. Alright, so we're going to start with, what am I going to start with? I'm going to start with a graphite pencil. Where'd that watercolor pencil go that I had? Alright, so I have out my bins. I got these snap together bins on Amazon. They're so handy. And then I got these cups that are plastic and they're smooshy, so they fit in the bin with other cups quite nicely. And if there's not quite enough room, I'll show you, because there's not quite enough room in my gel sticks bin. See how they smoosh to fit in the bin? They kind of push the sides out a little bit, but not too bad. I'm not worried about the bin, this bin unsnapping or anything. Pretty sturdy. I dig it. So this is my bin of pencils from the living room. There it is. And I want this particular pencil right here. It's super sharp, and I'll set that guy back over there. And I'm feeling it. It is also water soluble, so I may get in with some water soon and see how it goes. Alright, so the camera needs something to focus on because it's moody like that. What are we going to put on the paper for it? We'll put the frog on the paper for the camera to focus on so that it doesn't zoom in and out while I'm drawing on this side. I have out my Pinterest. I have up Pinterest and all my many, many, many Pinterest boards of all the beautiful things that I like to sketch and draw and practice from. And that's what I'm going to use today. I have my birds board up. and it is full of all kinds of colorful close-ups, far away, birds that I think are interesting and or pretty in some way. And I think this little miss, this little look right here is gorgeous. I'd show her to you, but I can't because it's Pinterest. Spin my, I have my Kindle out. I use my Kindle for popping up my reference photos because it's super handy. And I don't have my, I don't have a, I'm gonna turn my light up a little bit. There we go. I don't have a iPad yet. Yet being the key word. One day, when I'm all grown up, I too shall have an iPad. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's get in these weirdly squarish looking eyes. They look like jewels. I don't know if this is a real bird or not, because it's Pinterest and you never know when people have doctored the photos, right? But I thought it was neat, so I'm doing it. Looks like a close-up of a baby ostrich or something. And then we've got all of these lashes. I'll put them in lightly for right now. Just blocking in there. Like the placement of the eyes. After my sketch session, I'm going to go watch a movie and chillax for a little while. I'm feeling it. There's a little shadowy pocket here. And there's a little shadowy pocket here. I'll go ahead and shadow those in right now. Lightly like that. And then there's the ridge that kind of comes around like this, like that, and in a bit, and then this whole area is kind of shaped like this. We got this there, and then this comes down and into this ridge area over here, and then there's this little bit of yellow ridge coming up over where those lashes are flowing. Okay, and then that's that part there. Then we've got a little bit of a piece here going into the nose. Yes, I think so. The nose area, it's about even, yeah, that's about right. Right? Top of the nose. Yeah, it's right about here. I love drawing birds. Down like that, around like that. And we have, is that right? Yeah, it looks right. Mostly. We can make adjustments. There's a nostril situation right about here. It is weirdly shaped because of the way the face is, but that's okay. That, this little pocket of yellow here, and then this side, this eye is kind of this way, right, in relation to this, and then, yeah, the point is kind of at the base of this. If I go across the picture, the point of this eye is even with the bottom of this eye and kind of runs through the top of the nose, so right about here. And it goes up and out. and then down comes down and around, and then this actual eyeball area is doing that because we're seeing perspective. Because perspective. Perspective just, we're not the best buds. I'm working it out though. We're working it out. There's a little waddly thing there. A highly textured animal skin situation. And then there's a little bit of there, shadowing going on right through here. We'll pop that in. And then come down. And there's this ridge here. And we can come down. And there's that ridge there. And then the other side of that beak. And then this part comes down as one, two, three, about 3 times the length of the eye in comparison. Like this piece, 1, 2, 3, a little longer, but that's okay. You get what I'm doing, right? I'm measuring, I'm comparatively measuring this against this against this, and placement, like how many of these away is this eye. So if I go across the photo, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, it's roughly 1, 2, 1, so 1, 2, 3. It's roughly 3 eyes apart. So that's what I'm doing. I'm comparatively measuring the space between the shapes against each other so that I can get in the correct. See, I drew this triangle here. There's another triangle coming off the edge of the beak in roughly this shape. It's not a perfect triangle, but it is triangular. And then we've got his little pouty lip situation going on, coming out to about even with this ridge, outer ridge over here, like that. We've got another little ridge coming up like that. This is its own little pocket of different textures. Another pocket of different textures. Smooth ridge of that beak, lip situation, looks pouty. And then we've got the lower beak coming in right here. Yes? Yeah. And gently curving. It's more drastic curve here. And then gentles and flattens out a little bit. And then there's the textures. There's a yellow right here. Underneath shadow area right here. Pop that in right quick. It's all very loose and sketchy right now. This gets in my basic shapes so that I can come in and refine as I add in details. And for birds, for me, for birds, getting in the shapes on the face is the key part, because the feathers are everywhere. For this one especially, it's very fuzzy, looking like a baby bird. And baby birds tend to be very floofy. So off of this, we've got a yellow patch. This triangle is a little big, so we're just gonna pull it in. There's the other side. See this yellow here. We've got this one. I mean, it's not yellow, but here there's a little roundy part there. It's the other side. The other side of the world. And then we've got the lower that kind of comes around like that. There's more orangey textures, and then we've got feathers coming out. there. And there's feathers coming out here, like that. Like that, okay. And then up here we have, let's get in our start of our feather situation up here. And they're kind of going in every direction like you just woke up or something. Like, oh dear, it's morning. What is happening? There's a little bit of white right there. We've got all kinds of white feathers. Well, they're not white, they're gray, but comparative to the dark background, they look white. So let's go ahead and get in that basic shape of his crazy feather situation. It comes out and this comes in. And he's got a little bit there. And there we go. Okay. And then just wisps over here. He, she, it, whatever, you know. 'Tis a bird. I don't know much about bird biology. I just know I like to draw and paint them, so yeah, there's that for you. This is like the top of the head, but all the feathers are like everywhere. And then these guys go this way. Direction matters, man. Direction matters. He's got all kinds of craziness happening up there. And then these guys are all going out this way and up this way. Kind of out like that from this yellow, the side of the beak. And then we've got some coming out from there. And then there's all kinds of craziness happening down here. All kinds of floofy craziness happening down here. Get in some every direction kind of lines. Like they're going in every direction, but in an actual way, you know, like that. And the photo cuts off, so I don't know how far out. We're just gonna kind of let it fade off. Okay. And then down here is where the under feathers start to get larger. They look like little fans. And the edges of fans, you know, that little white edge. And then you get a little bit of dark, and then you get another little edge of a fan. And then there's, yeah, like that. We'll kind of let him go off the page over here, like that. There's the gist of how he looks. Let's get in some finer details on the face. Same pencil, heavy hand. I'm gonna go ahead and get in my reflective eye situation. Kind of all along the edge is a nice dark line through there, and then there's a bright spot there, and another teensy bright spot there. I'm going to go ahead and get in some bright spots, highly reflected areas, block those in, and then we'll go in and color in around them. Now down here is lighter, so let's start light. we'll block it in nice and light, and then we'll go in and darken some areas to give it that three-dimensionality. So we'll go in light all the way around all those high shine areas. Because it's a brown black eye. It's probably a brown eye with lots of heavy shadowing and reflections going on. So we can go ahead, and it's super dark up here. Because there's also those lashes. So let's go ahead and pop those in real quick. And they kind of, oh, there we go. Nice. And then it's just dark. And then this darkness through there. I could zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better what I'm doing here. The camera's gonna go crazy. There we go. Let's pull her down a bit. And then let's go ahead, and I'm trying to keep this fairly sketchy, like it's a sketch session, so I don't want to get too carried away with a fully rendered drawing, but the eyes are important for me, so. And you can do a fully rendered drawing in your sketchbooks. There's nothing wrong with it doing that at all. But to make this eye feel like it's got dimension and color, I'm going in and putting in dark areas and light areas. See? And then that edge is dark, but there's a little gradation, so we'll put in a little gradation all around that edge. So it's a little softer than that blunt line. And there's our eye. Done. Let's go over here and do this one. So I've got a high shine here that's very streaky and glowy. And there's a high shine here, and with a little like streak going in like that. And the rest is pretty dark. So there's the other lashes. We'll put those in real quick, coming out from the hood of that eye. Like that. Got our lashes in. And they probably overlap, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to go ahead and get in the top dark part of this eye, which is right through there to the top of this high shine. And the top of this shine right here is nice and dark. And then there's actually a little scalloped edge right here on that lid that I want to get. And you can barely tell on the camera, but it is there, so I want to catch that. And then below here we have another really dark spot. And then here is pretty dark, but not too terribly. So once again, I'm going to go in and do that. Oh, that's my shine. Where'd that pen go with the eraser on it? Not you. Ta-da! Got carried away. Okay, try again. There, and then here we're going to go ahead and block in the light color all the way across. Don't forget about this high shine. Don't color that in. Like that. And then this shine grades out, so I'm gonna gently put in another layer right here and let it get, it's pretty dark right here. Let it get nice and dark back here. And there we go. I'm like, why is my cart moving? Nothing's even touching it. The table's touching it, the table's moving. Ah, the ghost that follows me is moving my cart. Alright, so there's that. Grades out. And then there's little bits there. There's our other eye. Done. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, let's get in the nostril. And that kind of grades out a little bit as well. We've got some shadowing happening around it. To about there. Comes out like that. Okay. And then there. I'll take my eraser again and get rid of some of these lines right here that are too much. It's too much, man. There. Alright, well, you lay down then. It's like, I don't want to stand up. You can't make me. Alright, so we have a bunch of textures. So I'm going to go ahead and make like half moon shapes in different directions because they are roundy textures. And then in here there's a bit of dark and then textures. Then we have more textures up here, a bit of dark there, and then there's that hood that's behind those lashes, right about there, like that. And then there's textures peeking, but we're going to leave that alone, because this is where the feathers start. Okay? And then we have a little bit of texture. There's a little extra lid there. There's textures here, but not all the way up to the edge. A little bit of dark through here, so a little shading. This side's pretty bright because of the way the light's hitting, so we're going to put light textures in, just light marks. And not as heavily. We'll do like that. And then there's that light line coming from there. Then down here we've got some because the eye is inset a bit. There's other textures right through there. And there we go. And it doesn't have to match the shapes in your reference photo perfectly. If you're not going for like super realism, which I'm not. I'm never going for super realism. If I get it on accident, I'm totally down, but that's not ever what I'm actually actively working on. Just so you guys have an awareness of how I work, especially in a sketchbook. I try to remember that these are sketches. I do not need it to be a fully rendered piece. This is just fun practice. And we're already like, I'm busy. 25 minutes in, and I'm already getting way too lost in details, which is my favorite. Like getting in there and popping in little details like this. Not fully like crazy amazing, but you feel me. You guys you feel me, right? You understand. A little bit of, because it's not as textured through there. I got carried away. And then there's actually a pretty heavily shadowed area right here. The shape of that face goes in a bit. And then the feathers. Like that. Get a little bit of shadowing there. Yeah, pushes that back a bit. Okay. It gives him some little bit of shape. Oh, he's got little teensy lashes coming out from here as well. Let's not forget those. Every little detail matters, right? Alright, so I'm gonna focus on the inner face area real quick and try to quickly pop in our more detailed areas of interest. Blah, blah. Let's fix this. It comes down. Got some cool textures. Drawing beaks is so much fun because when you look at a bird, you mostly see the feathers, right? That's what you focus on with color. They're pretty amazing, right? But my favorite part of drawing a bird is getting all the textures in the beak that I didn't see before. So that's a fun thing to do. I'm not gonna get lost in it today. I'm just gonna kind of do that. Do a little bit of that smudging, right? And then there's a little dark spot right here. Get that in. There's a little there. A little bit of texture happening there. And there's a little texture happening on this side. Negative drawing, shadowing in around the edge of the beak to push it forward a little bit on that tip, because these feathers in here are pretty heavily shadowed in some areas, so we don't mind putting in a nice strong shadow right there. And then a couple little feather shadows, doesn't have to be exact, like that, like that, okay. And then flip the pen around, get some of those indications of streaks of color and shadow and texture on that beak, and then it comes up and around and into there. And then this is where that lower beak and upper beak meet. We've got his little, what looks like to me a smile, but sometimes when I get done and I think I made a happy bird, it looks very sinister. And I don't know how I do it. Yeah, it comes in there, like that. There's a bit there, coming up like that. Kind of crocodile-y textured. If you've ever drawn a gator, it's kind of got that, or a dinosaur, or what else? Dragon, yeah, that kind of texture. Dragon textures. Our little bird. Evolution, man. It's crazy. It's some heavy shadows going on there. Like that. Out, 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 out. And then that gives it some shape and definition. location of those fuzzy feathers and which direction they're living. Side of the pencil, and just get in some nice scribble marks like that. And this piece here is pretty bright, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Woo! And then, oh, maybe it's an eaglet. That's what, yeah, that's what this is. I just tapped the picture and a bunch of eagles popped up, so maybe it's an eaglet, which is awesome and makes sense with the coloring now. And all the different textures. There. Wobbly, like little ridges, and then little, occasionally finish a circle, but for the most part, you know, that weird little highly textured area that they have, that skin around the eyes. That, and the direction of the shapes kind of matters because that's what makes it feel more realistic. So if you get the basic direction of the shapes in correctly, like this, these come down and they kind of go around like that. Crocagator. I watched a video the other day of an eagle. It was a slow-mo video. I'm following a couple of bird photography people on the Instagrams, and saw an amazing video of an eagle swooping in, slow-mo, swooping in over the water, huge, just crazy big, and just plucked a fish right out of the water. It was so cool. It was amazing. Amazing footage too, like the patience it takes to just be still in your space and wait for it, you know, just wait for it. And I know photography, right, sometimes you go out and you get nothing, and sometimes you go out and you have a great day, right? I would love to be a better photographer. One of the things on my bucket list, I guess you could call it, is to get nice lenses for my current camera. There we go. Look at that sweet face little thing. All right, that's all I really wanted to do with this one. Let's go back to my birds, because we have 25 minutes. Let's get in some loose sketching. Let's focus on this page. Let's zoom out. Scooch over. Because he looks cool, right? I dig him. See, I normally, let's see, can't even help myself. Super light, because that graphite moves. There. That just makes me want to put in more color. I better just stop. I do have my kneading palettes over here. Ooh, that's beautiful. See? Mud. Take some mud, some water. I dig that. All right, let's do that all the way. Not all the way, but let's do a little over here. as well. And then some of this mud. There. And that just makes the sketch kind of pop off the page. Right? Yeah, dig it. I want to put more color on, but I'm not going to. I'll leave it alone. Leave it alone. Because my instinct with a graphite drawing is to get in on top of it with deeper, darker colors and really go hog wild with it. But I don't need to, right? You don't need to. Leave it alone. All right, coming over here, let's do... Oh, he's so interesting looking. Let's do this little dude for our last drawing, because that's probably going to take the rest of the session to pop him in, but that's okay. Should we do ink or stick with graphite? I'll stick with graphite because he's mostly white. Let's put his beak in first. It's right here. Down. There. There's a little swoop. And there. And then it comes like that. A little bit of feather on the top. That. Graphite is fun, but personally, I have a hard time getting super dark darks with graphite, and I tend to go in over the top of my graphite with ink or color, depending on my mood, to convey depth and to get those really dark darks in where I want and need them to be. My battery's gonna die, dang it. Let's see what we can get done before it turns off. Some marks here. It's probably not gonna last 15 more minutes because it's flashing at me. Right, yeah. There. And then try not to get my hand in the way while I'm doing this. And his little eye. There. That dark shadow in right there. That. And down and up. I'm consciously thinking about my dark darks and get like really pressing on the page to get them in there. And then kind of go over the whole eye, get that gray tone in like that, and then his little flicks out like this for that little ridge around the eye. Little ridge or little teensy feathers all the way around. Like that. Because it's mostly a white bird. Why I picked a mostly white bird to draw, but there you go. Because it's challenging. And then come up here and get his little feathers in like that. Light marks there. Like that. Feathers kind of poking up like that. There. That head shape. Like that. Digging it, I'm having fun. I'm having fun. That beak shadow is right through here. There. Dig it. Dig it, dig it. Okay. Get that little bit of comes in like that. Is it really that drastic? Yeah, kinda, to about there. I think it's very fluffy out here. Very fluffy looking. There. There. Here to here. Comparative. Comparative. This. Right there. Right there. Yeah. Dig it. And then it softens down here into his little neck, his little chest. Little, I'm drawing him ginormous, but he's probably really only big enough to fit in the palm of your hand. This is his overall shape, like that. That's that shape. Draw it a little darker so you guys can see what I'm drawing. And then his little feet and tummy are resting on a twig right here. That goes off into the distance. I'll go ahead and just block it in. And there's a little knob there. He's kind of on the tip of this twig, which is right here. Like that. Good. You can't really tell if that's his claws or not, so we're just gonna put darkness in right there and right there. And we'll let the reader's eye do what it needs to do, right? And then back here we have out of focus tail feathers. Like that. Like that. Yes, and then we have little bits of, because he's a white bird, so there's just little bits of shadow here and there where the feathers are really layering, and you can see a little bit of shadow where the feathers are layered. So get in and gently touch that in. He still looks like a white bird, right? A little heavier because you guys cannot see my marks on the camera. That. He's got a little dark here. and there. Like that. Okay. And then, what's that? There it is. I'm like, where'd that go? Almost dipped out of my coffee. Go ahead and put in a soft bit of color in that background and kind of let it be amoeba-like. Right? Grab water around that beak. I have a dot of blue in the middle of the palette right there. White bird in winter. Right? Grab some of that blue. This is a water graphite pencil, so we can come in here and he does have a little bit of green on him now that I'm really looking close. But that's alright, we're gonna just let him be what he is. I'm gonna soften this down here. And he has a little dark gray patch right about here that I enjoy. So I'm going to get that in. And there. And there. Do we dig it? I think we do. Alright, and there's our spreads fruit. That's so cool. Alright. Before the camera completely dies, thank you so much for being here and sketching with me. If you got out your stuff, there's our two white birds on it. I don't know. You go with your gut when you're sketching in your sketchbook, right? So there's our spread. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I try to put out a sketch with me video every Sunday. Sometimes I don't succeed, but for the most part I do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah. Bye.